Hey, so here's how to play EG2 for What a Beautiful Name. This is 68 BPMs. We're playing it in C most often. It was written in D, so there's some kind of droning open D string things that we'll be working around. But we play it in C most, so I'll show it to you in C. We have for the first part that we're playing, we come in on verse 2. We're out before that. And when we come in with this kind of finger-picked part. I have a fairly aggressive reverb on, a dotted eighth delay with, I think, just a single repeat and a compressor. That's it, no other effects. So that sounds like this. You can hear just the one repeat there. And our first part comes in and sounds like this. And that's really all there is for that first verse part that we play. So without the effects, we're basically we're picking around just basic chords. So this is our 1, is just a basic. And I'm trying to use like part of my nail when I play that, just to have it pop out a little bit more than it does just using your fingers. It's a little tough to get your nail in there sometimes, especially when they aren't super long, but it'll add a little bit of dimension to it. So that's the part there. That's your first 1 chord. Then we go to our 4 chord, which is up here. Then we go to our 6, which is this one. And our 5. Then we go to our 6 again. Then we go to a 7, which you can do a couple different ways, but I'll usually just play, those 2 chords there, or those 2 notes there. You can add in the 3rd one if you want. And then up to the 1, which we'll play up here this time, which is a C. Then we go back to our 4 down here, and our 6, and our 5 again. And so again, picking through those. It's our first 1. So that's what we'll use for the verse. Then once we hit the chorus, we still have our effects on, but we're just picking through kind of the same shape up and down the neck, which is the 1 shape that's up here. And so that with all the effects on. The only change I'm making in the effects on this part is I'm ditching the delay, because of having that delay jump back as aggressively as it does in the verse just doesn't sound right. So it's basically just reverb and compressor. And that sounds like this. And there's not really, it's a pretty slow part anyway, but I'll still play it without the effects. And so again, the chord shape that we're sliding around for 90% of this is this one. It's kind of like your bar chord, but you're just taking out this, your A string note and muting that instead. So it's the E string, the D string, and the G string are the strings you're playing through this whole riff, and you're just kind of bouncing around. Then to the 5. The only tricky part here is when you go down to your kind of 3 or your 1/3, we changed our fingering a little bit. And the only string we're holding is the second fret on the D string here for our kind of E minor shape. So that's really all there is for that part. After that, we're out for a good bit. We're out for the instrumental before the bridge, and then when the bridge comes back in, the effects-wise, I'm just staying on the reverb but no delay setting from before, which is the same reverb from the beginning of the song, but the delay will muddy things up pretty quickly when we start strumming. But at this point, we come in with kind of some diamonds, and we're around those same shapes that we were just playing through, except we'll be strumming them in one way or another instead. So again, still no effects on for me or no drives or anything on. And so when we first come in, we come in here, and this is what our bridge part sounds like. We'll just hit kind of some diamonds, except not there. We're not going to start on the G, we're going to start on the F. And so again, we're just picking through strumming through those same chord shapes that we were playing before. And now at this point in the song, I'll usually kick on a drive, like a first stage drive, because that's when we start to get really big, and then we'll strum the chords. From there, all we're doing, we're playing essentially the same thing in the rest of the song from the choruses out, except we're just jumping up to our 1 into the progression, which is back up here where we were playing it earlier. And so coming out of the bridge into that part is... You can hear that the only difficult, because these chord shapes, they kind of mute the strings you need to mute on their own, but this one down here, when you're strumming, you kind of have to be intentional about how you're muting strings. You'll hear that I kind of messed that up the first time, but because you don't want the A string in that at all, and you don't want the B or E strings. You just want... Those are your notes that you want to ring out through that. So just figure out how you want to, how you're going to mute the strings you don't need so you can continue your strum through that part. But that's really it. You may have a little more drive on that, the very last section. You may go up another drive stage or something like that. But either way, that's pretty much all you need for EG2.